Hello and welcome to this tutorial. I'm going to step you through a few things to do if you want to create a webinar for your theatre company. Now we're assuming that you already have a Zoom account and you're fairly familiar with Zoom itself. So should you have paid for a webinar, then you will have the facility over here, webinars. So let's go ahead and open that. As you can see, I already have some webinars for the Christmas Tree by Norm Foster. It's a production that's going on for ITR Theatre. Under this tab, you have previous webinars, and under this tab, you have webinar templates, which I thoroughly recommend that you use. Okay, so let's schedule a webinar. Now, I'm part of another theatre group called RAPA. So I'm going to create a webinar, give it a description. We're just going to be testing. I do have some templates, and I could actually use some of the templates I've created already, but for this tutorial, we're just going to leave that. Make sure the date is right, the time is right for when your webinar is going to be going live. How long is it going to last? Is it going to be a recurring webinar? Is the registration going to be required for your webinar? Now, I would recommend you would check that. When you start your webinar, do you want your videos on? Do you want your panelist videos on? Now, this is important here. Enable a practice session. Definitely have that checked. That gives you a chance to go through a few settings and checks before you actually go live. And the audience get to see what you're broadcasting. Have a look at these other options here and decide whether you feel that you need to use them. So let's go ahead and schedule that. So I could test the webinar myself now and it wouldn't affect it. Let's say I wanted to start it in a week or 2 weeks from now. That's okay. I can still test it now and it won't affect that. It will still be able to run in 2 weeks' time. All right. Let's go down a little bit. And as you can see, we would be able to invite our panelists here. At the moment, there's none. So let's go ahead and I'll invite myself. You can, if you have a lot of emails, and you can import it from a CSV file, an Excel sheet. So we'll go in here. I'm going to add myself. Go to put my email address. There we go. And as soon as I click save, it's going to send that email to me. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm invited as a panelist. We can have a maximum of 100 attendees. This is the link. We can copy it here and right-click paste that into an email. Or we can copy the invitation. We can copy the whole scope here by clicking attendee invitation. It's gone to a clipboard, and then we can paste that anywhere we like. So let's go a bit further down. And you can see other things that we can do in here. All right, good. Email settings. Let's have a look in here. Select email language. Okay, well, we'll use English. This is where you can edit and make sure that you have the correct email address and name so that people can contact you should they have any questions. Invitation email to panelists. Well, at the moment there's nothing set, so let's have a look. Send invitation emails to panelists. Save, and it will then do that. No reminder emails. Well, if you send out a registration link and somebody wants to join your webinar, and let's say your webinar starts in 2 weeks' time, but you can register now, well, it would be a good idea to send a reminder email to the registered attendees an hour before day before, or a week before. That's up to you to decide. As for the rest, you can check it out and see if you feel that you would need to use any of these other options below. Branding, this is very important. We have a banner here for our play. So when the emails go out, the attendees, the audience will see the banner and our logo also. So make sure you upload your banners, your logos, bearing in mind that the pixel sizes are very important. So you need to fix your graphics first before trying to upload. So let's scroll down a bit further. Post attendee URL. Well, what is that? This is where you want your audience to go at the end of your webinar. Should you have a survey on your web page or a third-party provider or a donation link, for example. So you need to make sure that you edit this and paste in the correct URL that your webmaster has created for you. You can do polls also here. A few things that you can check out for yourselves. You can do polls and surveys here also. You can add your own poll, add a poll, title, etc. Put some questions in. Again, some things that you can even add your own extra questions, but these are the things you can check out on your own. And there's more items here. You can go live to YouTube, live streaming. All of these things are options that you can also look into. So that's our webinar created. We can save this webinar as a template. And I recommend that you do this. You can see we went through a few steps here just to get this the way we like it. So let's save it as a template. I'm going to call it and keep it as a RAPA template. So if I want to create any more webinars, I can actually use that template to get to all the points that I want to. However, I did notice one thing, that your panelists, you'll have to keep putting those in and changing them. They won't save that. It just doesn't save that automatically. So there you have it. Our webinar is created. It's all set up. We've created a template, which is very important. One more thing I'd like to share with you is in account management. Excuse me, let's click down here. Webinar settings. Let's open this up. Now in here, this is where you can upload your branding also, check or change it. And a very important item here I want to show you first, if we just keep scrolling down, is post attendee URL. This is where you want your audience to go at the end of your webinar. Make sure that this is correct also in this location. Now there's something I would like to make sure is absolutely correct, is that where we can add our email information when the attendees actually register for a show. Now let's have a look here. Yes, confirmation email to registrants send upon registration. So send me a preview email. Well, we don't need to see that. Let's edit that. Right, confirmation email. The topic is going to be placed into here to confirm that they've registered. And you can add more information here to make things much more clearer to the attendee. You can add things like, I realized that the show said that it was going to start at 7:30, but we're going to start broadcasting at 7:15. So they register expecting the show to start at 7:30, but now they know that they can actually log on and see what's going on at 7:15. But you can put this information in the body of this email here and save it. So when an attendee or audience participant registers, they will receive any information that you feel that they should know in this box here. Okay, if you go to settings, this is where you're going to find closed captioning. But you need to scroll down quite far. Leave the chat open. You can turn that off when you start your webinar. Keep going down, keep going down. Gives you a chance to check out the settings that I actually have. And you can probably duplicate them and it should work just fine for your production. So yeah, keep scrolling down, down, down. It's quite far. Closed captioning, here we are. Make sure that this is selected. See, I've modified it. And that will allow you to have an API token to a third party, which will allow you to do closed captioning for your videos. Okay, thank you very much.